Welcome to Inspired Truth Ministry. I'm Kathy Hall. I want to apologize for not being on here for a while. I had some personal issues I was dealing with for the last 3 months. I haven't felt like myself, and I stepped down as an assistant manager at my job, and I then became part-time and was unable to even work that through. Come to find out in my research, my husband was teasing me about going through the change, and he wasn't wrong. I was learning that over 1 billion women this year are going to go through menopause. And it's very, very little known about it or researched about it. And so I had to really dig and find out what is really going on. I found myself unable to really do much of anything. No energy, no motivation, and huge brain fog. I couldn't even remember a lot that was going on. And I felt like I was just in a prison, not able to navigate. My husband was telling me that my eyes looked glazed over and I was like a robot. I just didn't communicate. I had no thought pattern. I had nothing going on. And a lot of women, if you're going through this, there are solutions to naturally increase your hormone level. That's what I've had to do with herbs and with supplements. There's wonderful doctors online that can talk to you about what to do. Most doctors out there will have no clue how to help you. Do not do the synthetic hormone therapy unless you absolutely have to. That's like the last ditch effort. I didn't want to do that. I've watched my mother-in-law suffer with that, and I wasn't willing to go down that path. And I'm much better now. And because I had to drop down part-time, I've got to look for another job. But in the meantime, God gave me this really big message to send to you guys today. So here we go. We are going to talk about what women need in this society, and that is another Charlie Kirk for women. We need a good role model that's out there saying the truth and speaking the truth without cowardice, without drawing feminism into it as if it's a part of the society that we live in. It should be snuffed out as quickly as possible. I have done a lot of research over the years on feminism and what it does to our society. I was going through a book with my husband called Gender Roles in the Bible, The Creation, the Fall, and the Redemption by Jack Cottrell. Unfortunately, a lot of these people who go against the feminist movement end up quitting what they're doing. He was a very big voice in it, explaining how the devil's playbook plays this over and over and over again in our society. And it comes and goes, it comes and goes. I don't know that it's going to leave this time. I have a very big problem with where we're headed. And, my question to the feminists is, to what end? How does this end for you? You've already been humiliated in your bathrooms. You've already been humiliated in your sports. When does this end? I have a very big issue with something that Benny Johnson said that kind of angered me, and I'm still kind of fuming about it. And that is, his statement was, if you're a man that's 30 years old and you're single, you don't have a wife, you don't have children, you've got to be a liberal. As a mother of 4 sons, as a conservative Christian woman, I would like to tell him he's wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong. My sons refuse to date because of the craziness of the women out there. See, one thing that Benny didn't take into consideration is location. We live 15 minutes away from Portland, Oregon. That should give you a pretty good indication of the type of women that my sons have to draw from. The cesspool of women is how I would put it. And we taught our boys to be careful who you choose as your wife, as the mother of your children, because women will do one of 2 things as your partner. They'll either build you up or they're going to tear you down. And the feminists tear you down. They break you. This is why we have so many beta males out there. And this is why they choose beta males, because they can control them. It goes against God's whole design for marriage. So for my own son's testimony, I'm going to share that here. My teenage son just came back home recently after living with a girlfriend that was 17 years old, never had a job, felt entitled to everything that she had. People need to pay for her stuff that she wants. She's a little princess who can't control her emotions, who's completely off the rails, and whose whole entire family celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk while my son was there. And I said, come home. You're in too deep, and you're in the enemy's threshold. You need to come home. See, the enemy will lure you in with a Jezebel spirit. She seems good on the outside. She seems like everything you're going to want. Then you find out what she's really like. Yeah, you're trapped. The Jezebel spirit is also what's running amok in the women of this day and age, the liberal Karens out there. And the Karens, in my opinion, just need to be rounded up. I don't know how much of the population they actually are, but they are destroying our society big time. And when I became a Christian, my youth pastor gave me a Bible, and I said, I can't afford to pay you for it. He says, I just want you to read it. Being ill-equipped to be a wife and a mother, not having a biblical family to draw from, I went straight to what marriage, what love was. And so this Bible verse is frustrating to me because I don't believe it's taught enough. And I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to share some very insightful things with it after I've shared it with you. This comes out of 1 Corinthians 7, 2-4. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, which is where we live right now, sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to his wife the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have the authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. If we lived that Bible verse, guess what? My body, my choice would not be a thing. This is where we have gone completely off the rails in our society. And I'm going to draw from you Generation X's for a minute. Especially you young men from the Generation X. What do we consider women, girls, who had a body count of about a handful? We called them damaged goods. Guys would talk to other guys, hey, she's damaged goods. You don't want that. We're glorifying prostitution here at a magnitude that's insane. You're beyond damaged goods. And back in our generation, when you were considered damaged goods, guess what? You didn't get married. You ended up an old maid. And that was something you didn't want to be. And another thing about, the damaged goods is it was damaging to the woman to have that label. And I'm sad that there's no label to make that shame and that guilt become something for these women. Another thing that I want to point out is my husband taught me a lot about women when I was dating him. And he said, you got the fun girls. Those aren't the ones you marry. They're the ones you have fun with. What kind of marriage material is out there then if you have all these fun girls and no one that takes life seriously? And you think about the damage that these girls are doing for their future. Are you going to be able to get a job with this kind of background? Are you going to be able to function in society? See, my issue with the Karens is you cannot coexist with these women. They are completely crazy, and men don't do well with crazy. It's another issue I have with the cesspool of women that, these young conservative men had to draw from. So my point is, we need real women, conservative women, not the ones that are being put out there because actually they're not real, they're fake. We need real conservative women that can educate the young women, come alongside them, and teach them what it means to be a woman of God, to have the value that God put in them, to become the wives and the mothers that we need for the future generations. My issue is, what has the school system done? Is this the result of the school system and what they've done to our children? See, with the feminist movement, our school system, our churches definitely, and our politics have all been compromised. I couldn't step foot in a church 15 years ago. because I was a conservative woman who believed in letting her husband lead his family. I am not a follower of my husband. I don't willy-nilly follow him. We are a team. I help him. He helps me. It's a give and take. It's not taught. It's not, we should be shouting from the rooftops. Hey, we're done with the feminist movement. It's over. It's dead. It needs to be buried. Women, know your place. If you look at the old movies, women knew their place because the men put them there. I do not have any respect for beta men. I have respect for men who say, no, you can't act like that. No, I will not allow you to be like that. Or like my husband likes to say, you're being like your mother. Well, that'll nip it in the bud right there. Right there. Men need to come back and be men. And society needs to allow them to be men. Not toxic masculinity, but real men. And women, let them be real men. Stop getting in the way. I mean, really, we're on the verge of letting women not vote anymore. I'm okay with that. If you're going to vote based on your feelings and based on how you want to get back at your parents because they're MAGA, are you kidding? This is the future of our country, and you're going to just throw it away? We are being invaded from all different fronts. Muslims, the Antifa, the rioting, all of this stuff that's going on top of the feminist movement and these white liberal women who have no clue how to have critical thinking. They don't understand. They're little mindless robots. Who wants to marry that? Who wants to have children with that? That's the problem. 100%. It was a problem 15, 20, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. It's still a problem today, and it's to an extreme that I don't know if even God himself can redeem us from this nightmare we're living. I'm asking all of you to pray. Share this video with the women that you think would be good to rise up and say, no more. We need good, strong women to say, we are done. I want grandchildren. I want my sons to marry, but I want them to marry correctly. Not fake and phony, real role models, real women, authentic women like we're supposed to be, because the Lord makes us that way. Take some time, pray about it, share this video. I pray that it will make someone jump up and say, yes, please, yes, let me be that person. We need a Charlie Kirk for the women. Charlie Kirk was great to bring the conservative men out of the delusion of this world. He wasn't so great at helping the women. We need to help the women now with strong values. Let the women know. I have a book called Your Value as a Woman, because you are valuable. This world's teaching you you're not. You are valuable and you are vital to the generations to come, but not the way the world wants you to be. You have to make that distinction. We as believers, we're not of this world. We're just passing through, but we're trying to make a difference while we're here. That's our whole purpose. Make a difference. Change it. Even if it's just you making a difference, it's better than living whatever the world wants you to live. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be okay. I'm so glad to be better. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I hope that this finds you all well. Thank you, veterans, for serving our country. I hope it's still worth saving.